Good afternoon, everyone. Tractorman 44 here. I had to run down to my daughter's house. I was going to take a minute and show y'all a few things that we've done down here at my daughter's house. I covered them on a couple of earlier videos way back when I first started putting videos on YouTube. And I didn't do a real good job, you know, don't do much better now. So I'm just going to rehash real quick some of the stuff that we've done inside the house. I didn't show anything about the outside of the house though. Now what this was a foreclosure that a cousin of mine bought from the bank. And it was just absolutely horrible. There was no breezeway there or laundry room, and no garage on it whenever he bought it. And right at the end of the house, right over there, was a white and green pole barn, about a 800-foot pole barn. Dismantled that piece by piece and sold it to the neighbor boy across the street. And then he progressed along and got it to where it had siding on it and the brick front and the garage doors. And I think he had insulation on the inside, but no drywall. I hired out the drywall and then the taping, but then I virtually did everything else, or my daughter and myself and my son-in-law. Even my son got involved with the excavating on the outside. Last fall, I think it was, my daughter and I built this retaining wall, and then earlier this spring we built this second retaining wall down here to tie it in and go on around the corner. But one of the unique and one of the neat things we did about this is retaining walls always, you know, kind of fall down over or seep downhill, you know, over a period of time. And so what I did not want that to happen. So I poured 12 or a 14-inch footing, about 4 inches thick, all the way around, and got rebar and everything in it. And so this entire wall is stair-stepped down in increments of the height of the brick as it changes in elevation. And it's supported with a reinforced concrete footing. What we did here on the entry, this is a split foyer. But anyway, on the stairs going down and also on the stairs going up, we took material goes on tractor trailer decking. That's a butcher block oak. It's a red oak, white oak, and a couple of other different oak mixture. And we bought it from a salvage guy. And then my son-in-law refinished it all and then cut me some rough blanks that I had to trim to fit, you know, on the individual stairs, because the stairs are not exact and identical. Then I went ahead and trimmed it with walnut, and I laminated some walnut in some cases, and then actually had thick enough walnut to make the round over on them, and did that in other cases. And also gave him some walnut off of our old sawmill, and then he cut the risers and made those, I think, only 3/8 of an inch thick. And then of course he made me some walnut for this knee wall, a nice neat trim board, and you can see up to the very top of this taller knee wall is another trim board up there. And then this handrail, I did the whole video on this handrail and these steps and everything a while back, like I said. But this handrail's got a unique story. This originated in 1882 in a two-story store building that my grandfather owned and operated a mercantile out of. I managed to get this from my brother when my dad had brought it out to him back in the 70s. And my brother gave it to me then to cut down and make into this particular set of handrails for here in the house. It was 17 feet long without a blemish or a joint. And I had to cut it, I had to whack it up into all kinds of joints and everything, you know, to make it like it is. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Old Davy Joe in Pennsylvania, he'll look at that and probably laugh at me because he is a master woodworker. And he'll tell me what all I did wrong. At least I hope he does. But at any rate, we put all the hardwood and everything in here, you know. My wife helped me lay almost all of this hardwood, and then my son-in-law helped me a little bit going down the hallway. Actually, he helped me quite a lot going down the hallway. Here's a nice piece of walnut off the sawmill that my son-in-law made into some sills, window sills, and we've got several of those throughout the house. She has a flair for color, so to speak, so this is her cabinetry. She really enjoys color. Here's more of the tractor and trailer decking that my son-in-law made into an island top, and then he put the bar coat finish on that. He made me these countertops like this for 3 bathroom vanities, I think, and the kitchen island top. So you can see how nice that looks. That's really, I really appreciate the effort that he's put into that for me. Of course, I did a video on converting the stove from natural gas to LP gas. Kind of covered a lot of the silly things what you have to concern yourself with whenever you are converting from one fuel to another. This is a stairwell down into that laundry room. It also has the Stairtreads that my son-in-law made for me out of that tractor and trailer decking material. I trimmed it all in walnut, and you can see the joints down here in the walnut where I actually had to glue some together, and then actually had to end join a few of them in order to make them big enough to fit. And then of course the herringbone all the herringbone floor tile. And my daughter laid that out piece by piece, and I set them in place. And I let her set a few of them, but for the most part, well, between the two of us, we did all of that layout. The layout's all on her. I could not figure that pattern out to save my soul. She had to run ahead of me. And of course, this is her laundry area. And this is a set of doors. If I remember right, they're 18 inches wide and 43 inches tall. There's 4 of them, all made out of walnut. That me and my dad and my brothers sawed on the old sawmill, the old Fisher and Davis sawmill that had a 54-inch inserted tooth blade out on the home place. So that lumber is lumber that we sawed back probably in the mid-70s, about the time I came home from the Marine Corps. But I made those, my daughter and I actually made those raised panel doors. I showed her how to safely and securely hold the panels as we're running them through the 3-horsepower Grizzly shaper in order to make those panels. And then, of course, the rail and style bits that you use to make all the fancy joinery, you know, for joining the rails and the stiles of the doors. So those turned out really, really nice, and she just tickled to death with them. Let's move on into somewhere else. This is my favorite bathroom. I don't know why, but I took some more of that walnut, and I had to glue things together in order to make, you know, the door fronts and the doors, and then the drawer fronts and everything for this vanity. This vanity is just built out of 3/4 inch high-grade plywood right in place. We didn't build it out and open and carry it in and put it in, but built it right in place. And then this, like I say, is another top. This came out of my own kitchen, my own bathroom at home. We upgraded to a one-piece composite material, and so I pulled this out, cleaned it up, and then installed that in here for my daughter. And of course, she likes the color. There's no doubt about it. And here's a nice, neat little towel rack, just more of that scrap walnut, you know, off the sawmill that we made into a towel rack. Of course, this is the downstairs area that's not quite finished yet. I've been dragging my feet on it, but this is another vanity that actually is built in place just out of 3/4 inch plywood. And all these doors here are not handmade. Those are actually repurposed doors that a cousin of mine's stepson, I think, or I don't know, some related to him, had given to him, and he just went ahead and installed them on this vanity. Like I say, it's just built in spot into place. My daughter went ahead and decided what color to paint them and painted them all. And of course, this is another vanity top, you know, that my son-in-law made for me. And of course, I still got to do something with the mirrors. I don't know what I'm going to do. Boy, that's an ugly dude looking back at us over there, ain't it? But at any rate, one of these mirrors is going to go on the wall. We don't know exactly which one yet, but that's going to be my winter project, some of my winter project. And of course, in the mechanical area is the propane-fired water heater. And of course, the 92% AFUE condensing furnace that I installed along with central air conditioning outside. And of course, I had to fabricate and install all of the ductwork, the whole duct network, because what was in here was just baseboard heaters and window units. And of course, we put in a 200 amp service entrance. You can see all the circuitry, all the wires coming right down through the center of the house. My daughter essentially drilled every one of those holes and pulled every one of those wires for me right down through there. Towards the tail end of the summer last year, my son-in-law, myself, and my daughter went ahead and laid out and built this deck here. As a matter of fact, I'm gearing up later in the week to come over and put the steps on it. And like I said, she has a flair for the coloration, so that's her lawn furniture. You can see right here where I got my old truck parked, there's 3 10-foot slabs. I think they're like 9.5-foot slabs of concrete that we poured after she's moved in. I think we did the first one up there before she moved in. And of course, there's my old case, a 580 case backhoe just sitting there resting. I can't wait to get that one back home. That's my good one. Well, I hope you enjoyed a few minutes of my special project. This is Tractorman 44, and I'm out of here, guys.